Addiction is defined as a chronic, relapsing brain disease that is characterized by compulsive drug-seeking use despite harmful consequences. People use drugs to feel good. Most abused drugs produce intense feelings of pleasure. This initial sensation of euphoria is followed by other effects, which differ with the types of drugs used. They also use it to feel better. Some people who suffer from social anxiety, stress-related disorders, and depression begin abusing drugs in an attempt to lessen feelings of distress. Stress can play a major role in beginning drug use, continuing drug use, or relapse in patients recovering from addiction. They also use it to do better. Some people feel pressure to chemically enhance or improve their cognitive or athletic performance, which can play a role in the initial experimentation and continued abuse of drugs, such as prescription stimulants or steroids. And they also use it for curiosity or because others are doing it. In this respect, adolescents are particularly vulnerable because of the strong influence of peer pressure. Teens are more likely than adults to engage in risky or daring behaviors to impress their friends and express their independence from parental or social rules. Risk factors of drug addiction are aggressive behavior in childhood, lack of parental supervision, poor social skills, drug experimentation, accessibility, and community poverty. Consequences of drug addiction are cardiovascular disease, stroke, cancer, increased spread of infectious diseases such as HIV/AIDS and hepatitis B and C, lung disease, mental disorders, and negative effects on prenatal drug exposure on infants and children.
This is a typical day in an addict's life.
How much you need?
$1 gram.
Oh yeah, this is the good stuff right here. I live such a sad, sad life.
Alcoholism. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration defines drinking as 5 or more alcoholic drinks for men and at least 4 for women in the span of 2 hours. Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration defines heavy alcohol use as binge drinking on 5 or more days in the previous month. Alcohol use in the U.S. In 2015, 26.9% of people 18 or older reported binge drinking in the past month. 7% reported engaging in heavy alcohol use in the past month. Alcohol use disorder in the U.S. The National Survey on Drug Use and Health reported 15.1 million adults 18 or older had alcohol use disorder, including 9.8 million men and 5.3 million women. They also reported that 623,000 people between the ages of 12 and 17 had alcohol use disorder. Of that, 298,000 were males and 325,000 were females. Alcohol-related deaths. 88,000 people die every year from alcohol-related causes. Alcohol is the third leading preventable cause of death in the U.S. after tobacco and poor diet or physical inactivity. In 2014, 31% of all driving fatalities were due to alcohol. Economics. In 2010, misuse of alcohol cost the U.S. $249 billion, 75% of which was related to binge drinking. Consequences. Underage drinking can disrupt brain development and increase the risk of developing alcohol use disorder. It also increases the risk of cancer within the mouth, esophagus, pharynx, larynx, liver, and breast.
This is what happens when you go out for a night for drinking.
Ben, get up for work, come on. Get up.
No.
Why?
Because
why?
I'm hungover.
What did you drink?
Hmm?
What did you drink? Socioeconomic status and diet. Income level is related to quality of diet. Cost of food. Low-income families purchase low-cost items and spend their limited resources on saturated fats, sweets, and sweetened beverages, with only a minimum part to fruits, vegetables, fish, or lean meat. Education on the subject. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 leading cause of death. You can develop this disease from too much fatty foods, and that leads to an unhealthy heart. Binge eating is eating an excessive amount in a small period of time. Obesity, extreme overweight from overeating, and this could be genetic. Self-esteem and emotional eating, having something traumatic happen and dealing with it through eating. My boyfriend's probably cheating on me because I'm fat.